traitors and make us lose the good we often might win by fearing attempt. Jane Addams was a very amazing and successful woman by helping anybody in need of it. I feel like I'm a lot like Jane Addams. Well, I'm not as successful yet, but I love to help people in need. I may have a lot of doubts too, but like Jane said, our doubts are traitors. Most of you I know hate the taking of rights away from you. Jane Addams hated this too, just being told no. What if you were in the situation where you were in need? What would you do about it? But what if everybody said there is nothing to be done about it? Well, Jane Addams always thought there could be something done about it. Today I'm here to talk to you about Jane Addams. This is a picture of her I'm showing you. She was known mostly for her work with settlement houses, which was great for people in need. Secondly, I'm here to talk to you about her involvement in peacemaking. So let's move on to discussing her work with settlement houses. Jane Addams, with the help of her friend Ellen Starr, was the founder of the first settlement house in America. Jane founded the first settlement house with the name of the Hull House in 1889, from discovering things like it in London. The Hull House was known to fix problems caused by industrialization, urbanization, and immigration. During the late 19th century, jobs were becoming harder and harder to get due to highly immigration. According to the Hull House Museum from UIC College of Architecture and Art, last updated in 2009, stated that settlement houses typically attracted educated, native-born, middle-class, and upper-middle-class men and women, which meant Jane was really open to anybody who came in need of help, without being sexist or racist. Jane Addams provided daycare facilities for children whose mothers were working, which wasn't very common during the 19th century, art, libraries, and tons of classes, with the help of the residents at the Hull House. Jane Addams helped get the settlement house idea around, turning the first complex, which was the Hull House, into 13 buildings, expanding it to national level. The settlement house movement went click-clack up the ladder. Again, according to the Hull House Museum, by 1900, the United States had over 100 settlement houses, 35 of those being in Chicago, where the first Hull House was made. This book, my history book, has a lot of information in it about the settlement houses and Hull Houses. This, again, is Jane Addams. If Jane Addams hadn't started this movement, we would have had more poverty for a longer time. Now that we've discussed one of Jane's biggest successes, let's talk about her movement in peace. Jane Addams was one of the greatest peace movement women of all time. According to the Nobel Prize from the Norwegian Nobel Institute, last updated in 2014, stated that Jane Addams was the second woman to win the Nobel Peace Prize, but actually the first American woman to win it. Jane Addams was like the Gandhi of the United States. When World War I began, Jane Addams never stopped bugging President Woodrow Wilson to create peace between the fighting countries. When the U.S. actually entered the war, Jane Addams spoke out loudly. The same website, the Nobel Prize, stated that she was stamped a dangerous radical and a danger to the U.S. security. This happened because Jane just felt like we didn't need to go into war to create peace. It wasn't necessary. In 1919, Jane founded the Women's International League for Peace and Freedom. According to the Women's International League for Peace and Freedom, the organization was to work towards social justice, sustainable development, women's equality, and disarmament, and still continues to work toward this today. Jane Addams was actually voted the first president of this organization, making it very successful. Jane Addams continued working with the Whole House and Peacemaking until her death of cancer on May 21st, 1935. A fact real quick, her funeral was actually held in the courtyard of the Whole House, which she created. Jane Addams was a very amazing and successful woman by helping anyone who was in need. Today I talk to you about Jane Addams and what she's done throughout her life. Although I could tell you so many more interesting facts about her, let's discuss what I've told you today. Jane was so very successful with the Whole House, which made it all the way until January 27, 2012, which shut down because of money problems. This was stated by the World Socialists from the International Committee of Fourth International, last updated on February 8, 2012. And I also talked to you about her amazing peacemaking skills. Being the first woman to win in America to win the Nobel Peace Prize is just, I look up to her for that. Earlier I told you about the needs of people and you being in that situation. None of us would be here today without people like Jane Addams. She helped women become stronger and helped both men and women find jobs with the settlement houses. Today I thank Jane Addams for doing all that she did. I'm so positive that each and every one of you in my audience is as strong as she was. So never give up if you can think you can change the world. Now another inspiring quote from Jane Addams. Nothing can be worse than the fear that one had given up too soon and left one unexperienced effort which might have saved the world. Thank you.